welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. So great to have each and every one of you with us this morning. Could not ask for more, could not ask for better. Happy Republic anniversary, our 52nd. Y'all hearing me? Our 52nd Republic anniversary. I want to be very, very particular. It's my 52nd anniversary, right? Good to have each and every one of you joining us from around the world. It's a real privilege to be here talking with you beautiful, fantastic folks like Candy Naleen Inderjeet, like Beatrice Selby, all the usual suspect. I see Clear Alexis, Charlie Richmond is here, Alfred Jordan here, so too. We got Joylyn Cook, Latavia. I'm always fascinated whether it is Lewis, it's pronounced, or Lois, because we know it's pronounced differently. But I say Lewis. Latavia and Lewis is here too. Alfred John Debautia. We got Andira Paradise. Some fantastic, fantastic people are here. Auntie Sandra Hanover is here as well. Happy 52nd Republic anniversary. Basil Clark, or some people say Basil. I don't know if you want to be a little uppity. Basil Clark is joining us. Basil Clark, how are you doing? Coretta is here as well. Carlotta, rather, is here. Orinthia, good to see you. Penelope Hudson. Carlotta Reynolds is here. Reynolds is here. Good to see you, Carlotta Reynolds. Glenford Gordon, Gigi. Glenford Gordon, Devout. Yep. I see Desiree Simon. Liverpool is here as well. Desiree, a very good afternoon to you, and welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. I see Stacey Mattis. Stacey says, good afternoon, everyone, and a good afternoon to you as well, Stacey. We are privileged to have with us for our podcast today my co-host for the morning program, FYI. Well, one of the co-hosts, let me put it in that way. Jarita Fernandez is here, and Jarita is all smiles on our 52nd Republic anniversary.
Happy 52nd, Guyana. It is always good to be here speaking with you, wonderful people. And yes, it's a bit bleak outside. The weather is not up and sunny yet, but we're hoping for that sunshine to come out so we can get to go outdoor a little bit later, right? So it's good to be with you guys. We have a lot to discuss, but happy 52nd Republic anniversary, Guyana. I hope that we can move forward as a people. I hope that we will go into the 53rd way better than we are right now at our 52nd. We know there's so much going on out there. We know that there's so many challenges, and a lot of persons are not feeling as though we've come a long way after 52 years. But we encourage persons to, continue to not only have faith, but to continue to work at it, continue to make sure that you do your part so that we can accomplish those dreams and those aspirations that we all have for our country.
Well said, Jarita. Well said. Again, good to have each and every one of you. I see Everett Smart is with us, Jarita. I see Isabel Butters, Eileen Kelman. I love these names, Eileen. People don't give their kids these names anymore. Eileen. I love that name. It's so one of a kind and elegant. Even the way it's written looks elegant. Denise Mitchell is here too. She says happy 52nd Republic anniversary to all. And she says, and she is wishing us all a happy 52nd Republic anniversary. And so happy anniversary all. Wilma Grant says the very same thing. And guys, we're going to be inviting you to give your well wishes too on our podcast today. You're going to be able to send your voice notes and any other comments you have on this subject matter we're discussing. All right? Yeah, this subject matter we are
I see
discussing.
Stephen Jarvis joining us at this midday. Happy 52nd Republic anniversary, Stephen. Dawn Cook, happy 52nd Dawn. Denise Williams. Is it Altia? Hey, how are you doing today? Dawn Baines, Alia Waldron. Alia Waldron is saying, Sherrod, you sound like you went to the Juve.
Hey, stop it. Don't mind my business. Mind we not be business. Mind
Uh,
we not be business. That's what we
Alia,
say.
Alia, you may be so correct this morning. Sharon was a little bit off, right? He's still a little bit off.
I'm still waking up,
Good
guys.
day, good day, June. Chase, all you wonderful folks joining us today. Vashti, happy anniversary to you, Vashti. Carol Fortune, happy anniversary. Wilma Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Wilma is saying, I miss my dear land of Guyana. So, yes, we understand, Wilma, and I am sure that Guyana misses you too, and all your relatives
Yep,
and friends
yep,
here.
yep, yep, yep. Guess who we have joining us as well? We got the other co-host.
Oh my gosh.
Amanda Walton. This is here, folks. Our other co-host from FYI is with us for our podcast as well. We know long she's staying because Amanda's a girl with should think she got places to go and people to see. Amanda, welcome. Happy 52nd Republic anniversary.
Amanda, how did you wake up this
Don't
morning
tell me
while
everything. Just tell me what can be broadcasted. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Go on. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Amanzi, really, really good to have you. Really, really good to have you. Um, folks, hold on. Amanzi, we want to get it right. Some folks say they can't hear you. As yet, we want to get that right. Folks, you you get no feedback. We're going to try to solve that. We're going to try to solve that.
Hey, I'm seeing Miss Griffith here saying happy mash from Far Rockaway. So happy mash money to you, Gavin Liverpool. Happy mash money to you. Yes, Alia, we know you're not here in the man, so clearly we're working on that right now. But as we go along, guys, continue to send in your Mashramani greetings. I know a lot of persons, like I usually say, catch up in the comments. So as you continue to catch up, make sure that you send out your greetings. I think Sharon, you'll be actually taking in some voice notes
Yep,
as
yep,
the
yep,
program
yep,
go
yep.
along. So
And
guys,
we're gonna see if we have Amanda now, guys, and let us know if you can hear Amanda. But we want Amanda's business on our 42nd Republic anniversary. Amanda, come through again. And let's hear if the guy is hearing you because we're hearing you pretty clear here. And the one my business too, because I've seen the comments. I'm hearing you quite clearly, guys. Let us know if you're hearing Amanda. We want you all to be up in her business too. Please and thank you. Token came. Please and thank you. Amanzo, we were listening to your presentation, your contribution to the Republic exercise there at.
Region 4 flag raising ceremony yesterday. Very interesting. I see a lot of positive comments coming out as
I think they
everyone
can hear you
just,
now, Amanzo.
yeah, she's loud and clear, says Rita Clark. Thank you, Rita. So, Amanda, we were discussing earlier this morning some of the things, some of what you said yesterday at the Region 4 flag raising ceremony. And like you always do, you delivered a very profound statement altogether to the people of Guyana on yet our 52nd Republic anniversary. So, Amanda, could you just walk us through your thoughts when you were putting together those words, and what led you to actually quote so many things from our songwriters, persons, those mighty words that have been with us since we were younger,
From our national songs. I thought it was very, very thoughtful of you because
Very
sometimes we
thoughtful.
need to be reflective of that because not often we have an appreciation for national songs.
But thoughts, if we think about when a man put it over, it make us start to think about, what was these people, what were they thinking about when they sat down and they were tasked with writing a national song, in 1969, I believe, Amanda, you pointed that out. The year before we became a republic, the song of the republic was actually composed. So those mighty thoughts and words put into lyrics. And here we are 52 years later. And how do you see us moving forward?
Well, Sharon and Jaretta, I'll tell you that it was it was quite an emotional day for me actually. Um, because I realized, and I've been saying this for some time now, that we really are at a crossroads. And if we do not get this right, we are going to become second class citizens in our own country. I mean, Prime Minister Motley came and warned us about being tenants in our own land. I will say that national songs for me have always held a very special place in my heart. As a little girl in primary school, we had to learn each and every national song. And so you grew up with a sense of national pride of, this is Guyana, this is ours, and so we have to build it and we have to make of it what we will. And I think the time for political gamesmanship and brinksmanship and so on has long passed because as we continue to see around us, while the political groups fight, strangers are coming to inherit our land. And by the time we look around as Guyanese, all of the prime lands are going to be owned by non-Guyanese. All of our resources are going to be exploited by non-Guyanese with no, um, not enough access to the ordinary Guyanese. Now, mind you, I am not against foreign investment and investors. That has to be made pellucid. We have to partner with those persons, but we also have to be honest with ourselves and understand where our vulnerabilities are being exploited. People know that we have not gone this way before. And so the chaos and conflict that our political situation occasions leaves room for us to be exploited as a people. And I made a very strong statement yesterday, and let the chips fall where they may, that no one political grouping has the answer. And if that has not become obvious to us right at this point as a people, then I don't know where we are going or how we will end up.
But you
And
know
it's
what?
disheartening.
What you say there is so important, and I must give kudos to Region 4, whoever would have planned that program there. This is the Regional Democratic Council, folks. For those of you listening to us around the world, Region 4, they had a 52nd Republic anniversary observance at I think it was at the head office for the region, in Region 4, and I saw our very own Amanza Walton this year was there. We played part of that footage even from Amanza's presentation on FYI this morning. I saw Ganesh there as well. I saw the Region 4 Chairman, Daniel
Daniel
Siram.
Siram.
I saw also Anil Nandalal was there. So whoever put the program together thought of all sides in our politics across the political divide. And I'm certain, I think Mr. Nandalal would have spoken as well. We don't see the same thing happening in national politics. So it seems as though the regional politicians are leading the way. If we're really talking about one Guyana, all sides represented, even in that event, Amanza, I think that was very thoughtful.
It was very, very thoughtful, and I have to send kudos to the chairman, Daniel Siram, who insisted that things will be done properly. As people know and understand, the APNU AFC controls Region 4. And so it really was up to us to invite who we needed to invite, etc. And we made a point of inviting the government, and I think that that was quite commendable. I want to contrast that, however, with the national flag raising event where the opposition, on the occasion of our republic, We were not even invited to the flag raising. And it is not something that we should let go that easily. Not inviting us to the island, gas session, etc., is one thing. But on the anniversary of our republic, to be unable to put aside partisan politics and together celebrate such a stellar accomplishment as a Republican status indicates that, listen, I am now 100% sure that Irfan Ali and his cabinet have no intention to live out this one Guyana slogan. And I will be calling on the diplomatic community, Sheridan Jaretta, to take keen note of the absence of the opposition at a flag raising ceremony.
Is a point that we were making on FYI as well, and I think Kathy, Catherine Hughes, member of Parliament, former Minister of Telecommunication, raised a point on social media as well, that we can't be talking one Guyana and you don't even have the integrity and the character to invite the other side. Manza, I unfortunately I read law like you, but I never practiced law. You're in that field, and so these maxims and so on are sharper to you than they are to me. But we learned in law about hearing the other side, and there's a Latin maxim that goes with that: hear the other side, listen to the other side. I think the maxim says.
Yes, it's the Audi Alteram Partem rule. And, you know, listen, you know what made me understand that these people they just are clueless. You have a statement from President Joseph Biden talking about inclusivity. Oh, you can't take a hint, you can't see where that is going. Can't you see where that is going?
Correct is right. Correct is right.
And not to respond in a manner that says we understand the times, we are serious about moving forward with one Guyana. They don't care, as God Moses said, you think they care? They don't care.
Manza,
And it is so shameful. When I read Kathy's note, my heart bled because it was at that point when Kathy notified us that we realized that they were actually proceeding full speed with flag raising arrangements.
yep. Manzo, for the benefit of those who might not have read the statement emanating from the U.S. Embassy in Guyana on behalf of the American government, in particular the President Joseph Biden, it's a two-paragraph statement, of which the first paragraph is about a line, very, very short. The second paragraph reads and includes these words: the United States remains a committed partner in working together with Guyana to reinforce democratic value, promote inclusive economic growth, strengthen regional security, and successfully meet challenges posed by the climate crisis. We look forward to building upon our shared values of collectively rather, to collectively address global challenges and achieve a prosperous future for all. Promote inclusive economic growth. That's the point Amanda was raising.
Well, that is correct, and we spoke a bit about we just broke it up actually. We made a point that at no point in time do you have a statement coming out from none other than the President of the United States, Joseph Biden, and not to think that these words were not carefully put together. He was very strong in his words. He said to reinforce democratic values. And one of the things that we pointed out earlier on the show this morning was that one of the democratic values that the U.S. hold dear to is freedom of speech, and we have here in Guyana that very system being trampled on, and persons are not encouraged to express themselves, and persons are actually punished for expressing themselves. And he went on to speak about promoting inclusive economic growth. And again, we speak about this every single day. We ask that there be a balance in the distribution of resources. We ask that the majority of the population, the working class of this country, be able to benefit from the oil resources, and that their standard of living be able will be able to rise, and not only this little cabal, this little group, this little gang that is just soaking up all the benefits. He also spoke about strengthening regional security and successfully meeting challenges posed by the climate crisis. And it was you, Sherry, this morning that actually spoke about the fact that you cannot, Guyana has not been showing any indication that they are moving in any of these directions that is being addressed here by the President of the United States. And he ended by saying that we look forward to building upon our shared values to collectively address global challenges and achieve a prosperous future for all. And it's not by coincidence that we have all of these world leaders just preaching the same message, just singing from the same book. It's not by coincidence. These are carefully coordinated statements, if you ask me, because they are all looking on. They all have the facts, and they know that they're speaking to a country in which there's, the citizens do not see this prosperous future for all. And hence, persons like Mia Motley, Joe Biden, the president of Ghana, everyone coming here is saying the same thing. Make sure that the citizens of Guyana, the less than 1 million people, actually benefit from these resources.
And
No, absolutely. I think Julieta is spot on what she has pointed out. And so, language in diplomacy is very, very important, and being able to understand the language. And I'll tell you, one of the things that is of concern to me,
right ahead, Amanda.
I'm concerned about this one Guyana sloganeering. I'm very concerned about it because one, we have already established that it is only sloganeering. There's no serious intent to achieve that. And the other concern that I have is that there seems to be a concerted effort to usurp our national motto.
Yep, yep. And for those persons who are joining us, we are going to take your comments. We are going to take your thoughts on Guyana at 52 or 52nd Republic anniversary, but we aren't going to be taking any calls. So we invite you guys to share your thoughts and your sentiments with us in a voice note. We have the number up on the pages you're viewing us from. The number is up there. You are free to send us a voice note, and we're going to play them soon as on our program. We are going to be taking any calls, but again, we want to hear from you. So send us those voice notes.
Yeah, Amanda was speaking as before you just went there, sure. Amanda was speaking about the whole concept of this one Guyana and the fact that basically it's just on paper and it's not being practiced. They say it like I've been saying. They say it for the records that the records will reflect that they spoke about one Guyana, but every single action that they go out and do on a daily basis goes against that whole principle. And going back to the statement that Kathy Hughes made on her Facebook page, I know for persons that didn't had a chance to see that, I'll just read from that. She placed a picture rather of the stage being set up on the lawns in the parliament of the public buildings of Guyana. And she wrote that I visited the parliament a few hours ago. This was yesterday, folks. She said, I visited the parliament a few hours ago. My heart bleeds. A flurry of activities there as they prepare for what must be a flag raising event in a few hours. Imagine the Parliament of Guyana, which must independently represent all Guyanese, has a national event on its grounds to which all of its members of parliament have not been invited. Haven't heard the speaker object and say, no, we must do better. Spoke with a clerk who explained that even he was not invited. Why desecrate the grounds of our parliament like this? If this is now a government or PPP affair and not a national celebration of 52 years as a republic, then I suggest any other location be used, including Babu John or the grounds of Freedom House. Surely we are better than this. Another Saturday that highlights our descent into the abyss. God help poor Guyana, what a state she finds herself in 52 years later. Amanzo.
Like I said, Jaretta, there are times that you give uh, people benefit of the doubt. And I think that we have given the Ali administration enough of an opportunity to demonstrate that they are serious about moving forward in an inclusive manner. Um, it is something that they will be taking to task uh, about because it is unacceptable. I was saying earlier my concern with this one Guyana slogan, and I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
you why I'm concerned about it. When you look at our national motto, it says one people, one nation, one destiny. What it does is that it reinforces to every Guyanese that whatever we make of Guyana, it is we who have to live with it. Whatever we forge, whatever we mold, as Forbes Burnham said about Guyana, it is our destiny to mold. It is our nation to mold. It is interesting that it was one of the senior members of the People's Progressive Party Civic, well, that then was the PPP, uh, Mr. Brindley Ben, who coined our national motto. He made a statement, I think it was sometime in 1957, where it said, and this is in 1957, this is even before 1966. And he said British Guyana can make a unique contribution to history only if we weld ourselves into one people, one nation, and pursue one destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
Mm-hmm.
how that is where we
Mm-hmm.
got our national motto from. And so to see his own party attempting to desecrate and replace that with sloganeering of one Guyana, what does that mean?
Very
What does that
interesting
mean
indeed.
exactly?
Very interesting. I know as we have Amanza here, we're joined by a guest today. Our very own Ganesh Mahi Paul has joined the discussion. Ganesh, happy 52nd Republic anniversary. I always stress on that Republic anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you also, Sharon, and of course to my beautiful, intelligent colleague Amanda Walton this year and your entire viewership as we celebrate this Republican status of the second year. I think it is necessary for us to reflect as a country where we are and where we want to go. And if I am to jump into the discussion, I think Region 4 has demonstrated definitively where is it that we want to go as a people, and for us to maintain and hold that motto of ours, one people, one nation, one destiny. And I must commend the regional chairman of Region 4 for his action, and I have noticed that the same happened in Region 7 and Region 10. These are coalition regions. These are regions that were won politically by the coalition. And to know that the coalition is demonstrating in their respective regions what it is to be one people, one nation, one destiny is something significant for our country. And it shows what real and genuine leadership is about. And it also gives a sense of pride that there is hope for Guyana, even though even though we have a, an installed government at the national level saying one thing, but is yet to demonstrate what
Mm-hmm.
is this one that they talk about. The
Mm-hmm.
coalition is demonstrating what is one people, one nation, one destiny. What really is this one Guyana? You can see that are held by this installed regime and that were held by this installed regime has deliberately excluded 49% of the electorate in the National Assembly. Some may say that it is more than 49, but I am using the facts given by GCOM, where they said that the coalition has 49 and the PPP has the 51.
Mm-hmm.
Now, regardless of whether it is a 1% difference or not, the point is Guyana has to move to higher heights. Guyana is on the cusp of transformation and on a rapid takeoff. And you have three regions controlled by the coalition, demonstrating a need for that togetherness, that harmony, that love that is so desperately needed. And I must give kudos to the regional leaders, these regional chairpersons, in these three respective regions that
Mm-hmm.
have demonstrated true and genuine leadership. Hats off to them, Sherrod. Hats off to them.
Indeed, indeed. Kudos to each and every one of them. Both Ganesh and Amanza, thanks so much for joining us. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to listen to Irfan Ali's uh, address to the nation last evening. I'm trying to get an initial reaction from you guys if you had a chance to listen to it. What were your thoughts? Again, Ganesh, perhaps preempting our discussion with the whole notion of what is this one Guyana you were talking about? Because the phrase littered his presentation, even though he said that he wasn't going to discuss the vision for the country last evening. They have already repeated that several times and it's in their manifesto. There is that phrase of one Guyana throughout the presentation. An initial reaction, if you guys will have listened to the presentation. Amanza.
Well, Sherrod, I listened up to a point,
Mhm.
and I heard that he was going the road of articulating 10 issues.
Mhm.
I think his first attitude, second had to do with character. I think he was really talking to himself, and I think he was talking about himself, his own people, and he was perhaps sending a message to Jagdeo, who seemed to have a great control over his presidency and who seems to want to try and make him fail as the president of the country. And perhaps he was indirect asking Jagdeo to change his attitude and change his character because the people who are not practicing the one Guyana, who are not practicing love, unity, harmony, and togetherness, are within his own camp. Nothing that they have done nationally demonstrated the need for inclusionary democracy and participation. So his speech for me was one of which he wasn't speaking to the nation, he wasn't speaking to the people of that. In my view, he was simply speaking to his own members of his executive, and he was basically telling them to allow me the chance to prove that I want to one there, because it seems as though my Jagger is disturbing him from getting that achieved.
I'm happy that Ganesh went in that direction of perhaps the first point made by Irfan Ali in this address to the nation last night as part of the flag raising ceremony at public buildings. Let's take a listen in on what he said as relates to attitude, and then we get to try to get a response from Amanza. Our viewers, this is what Irfan Ali said last evening in that 52nd Republic anniversary flag raising ceremony at public buildings, Georgetown, Guyana.
Guyana. On this, our 52nd year of our republic, I wish to humbly examine 10 areas in which we, as a people, must understand our role, responsibilities, and function. We must address these 10 things at a personal level and ultimately at a country level if we are to pursue the right blend of character and traits that will make us successful people. Firstly, our attitude. What is the attitude required to be successful? Is it a complaining, negative one? Where does such an attitude take us? And what do we hope to achieve with such attitude? If, as one Guyana, we believe in the potential that exists, then we need to exhibit a positive attitude and a positive outlook. The chronic naysayers will find fault in everything we do. With a positive mindset,
Ganesh and Amanza, part of the presentation last evening.
strengthen every decision and policy to
Well,
deliver
I'll tell
the
you,
best.
Sharon and Ganesh, that what Irfan Ali is attempting to do there is to use reverse psychology on Guyanese. But
Talk to
that
us.
will work for some people. It won't work. It won't work for people who understand themselves and can recognize these tactics a mile away. What he is trying to do there is to quiet dissent. And he's trying to do it by couching it in complaining language. You see? So when you complain or you criticize, you're being negative. They're trying to shut out constructive criticism. They're trying to paint people who point out where they are obviously going wrong as negative and having a bad attitude. But that will work for some people. The majority of Guyanese are quite intelligent and they understand that a spade must be called a spade. And so it's really quite sad that Irfan Ali believes that he can use reverse psychology on people of Guyana like that. I will say that actions speak louder than words. And if he really wanted to demonstrate one Guyana, his first course of action would have been to insist that the opposition be invited to the flag raising. So I will confess that I didn't listen to him because I knew it would be rhetoric and nothing of substance that would really inspire and motivate Guyanese to come up higher and to do better and to pursue a bold, course of action and to secure our future. So, I am not impressed.
The poet says, "Sound and fury, but symbolizing nothing." Ganesh, your thoughts. Again, you preface your initial reaction by saying you thought that he was talking to himself in lots of the instances that he says here. The 10 points of success, I think, for any nation.
Ganesh may be right because he didn't invite anybody else to be a part of that. It was a PvP event, so he went and they had a PvP event, and he might as well been speaking to himself and his colleagues there. So Ganesh may be onto something there because if you wanted to include other persons to actually have a message broadcast is that a broadcast to other persons, you would have invited those other persons. So most definitely that message probably is for his own colleagues and not for the wider population altogether.
I can't agree with you, Jaritha. Ganesh, what are your thoughts?
Karat, first of all, forgive me. I had no idea that the beautiful Juretta Finance was in your company.
She is, my brother. She is.
Perfect.
Lucky me.
I trust I will be forgiven for that. But notwithstanding that, Amanza would have articulated the view quite well, and I think it's enough for us to give thought to, and also to pay attention to the fact that I reiterate essence of this government has been one where they exclude a particular group and just focus on themselves. You see, as I said, the country has to decide whether they want to go forward with an administration that is only focused on enriching themselves, their friends, and families, or they would like to see everybody grow and everybody move from one position to a higher one. And the purpose of this regime does not point in a direction of inclusivity. It doesn't point in the direction of togetherness. And we cannot, as a people, afford to have them take control of the resources of this state to specifically spend it in their own likes and their own fantasies. I will therefore like to close by saying to the Guyanese people that what you saw in region number 4, what you saw the regional chairman do, what you saw do by extending invitations to both opposition and government. And what you saw in the other two regions, Region 7 and 10, is a step in the right direction, and it gives that sense of hope, that sense of pride that the coalition understands one people, one nation, one destiny. The coalition understands the direction we need to go, and the coalition understands that it is the Guyanese people that must benefit from all this resource that is coming into our country. It is the Guyanese people that will first benefit, and the step in the direction to achieve that requires us to first come together as a unified people. I want to end it by saying, well done, Daniel Phelan. Well done, Kenneth Williams. And well done, Brother Adam. Thank you.
Thanks for popping by, Ganesh. Thank you so much. Ganesh Maipal, Member of Parliament and Shadow Minister for Local Government and Regional Development. Thank you so much, Ganesh. And again, happy 52nd Republic anniversary to yourself and family.
Thank you very much, Sherrod. Thank you very much, Juretta. And it is always good to be in the company of Amanda Walton here. Amanda, I wouldn't pretend to know those other names.
Agree fully on all points.
Take good care.
Full marks, Danish. Full marks.
Ganesh is being politically correct.
Yeah, and we really, these are issues we got to grapple with. We got tough decisions to make. We got to move in certain directions that might not get buy-in from your base and all of that. And the PGP seem to be the only thing they're concerned in is the rules that they make and break. Right? The laws and the constitution really mean nothing. Is the rules, and this is what Ari practically articulated in this address last evening. These are his rules, right? Democracy is what we say it is not what is universally accepted, right? We say democracy is elections and full stop with that. And we gotta examine these issues, and you got some tough discussions, but we have to have them. I tip my hat to Andrew Mandela. We don't agree with his politics, lots of issues with his politics, but for showing up yesterday and for being part of what happened, he could have turned down the invitation. He was invited, and that's the difference. People don't have to shop. That's not democracy, but it's being offered a seat at the table, is having a seat at the table, being provided for and catered for. That is the difference. So talking inclusivity and practicing one Gyan is two different things. Amanza or Jurita.
Indeed, you put it quite well. You put it quite well, Jared. And as you said, we have some tough decisions to make. Very often people will say, "Well, why are you all engaging them? They are installed, etc." The reality is that these are the people that have access to the purse of the public, that make decisions, and very poor decisions, that will bind us for the next few decades. And so it is important that we continue to expose, that we continue to agitate, and we continue to inform our people as to what is happening. I hope that the diplomatic community has taken note of the absence and the non-invitation of the political opposition and the parliamentary opposition to the flag raising ceremony. You look across other developing countries or developed countries even, and you see people being able to put aside political differences and rally around the flag and rally around their nation. The opposition continues to demonstrate a level of maturity because, for example, we have stated that on matters of our territorial integrity and our sovereignty, we will work with the government. There's no daylight between us on that issue. That is the level of maturity that is required to move this country forward. If we continue to dig each other's eyes out, every one of us will end up blind. And all that will happen is that foreigners will come and they will inherit our land. Sherrod, I am satisfied that we, as a group of young political leaders, that we are sounding the warnings and that we are bringing the information. I'm satisfied that we are doing our part to make sure that our people stay informed, because an informed citizen can make informed decisions. And so I must commend yourself, Joretta.
And yourself as
I
well.
understand. Well, one morning I would drop by, but I understand what it takes to do this every day of the week, to bring valid and credible information to the nation. We can only develop if we make decisions on sound and credible information. And I want to publicly register my appreciation for you, for the technical guys, for all that you do. Today is MASH. It's a holiday. It's raining outside. Certain parts of Guyana are flooded, and you could be home with your family. Instead, yourself, Director, you are in studio and you are bringing this information to the people. And for that, I salute you. And I really want to encourage those listening to continue to tune in, to continue to support, to continue to share the light. If we can reach 10 persons every day with a transformative message and cause them to say, hold on, we can do better than this, then maybe one day we can get the majority of Guyanese to say enough is enough, we demand better, and to reject any political leader that comes to them to sow strife and division.
Fantastic. As the man was talking there, some folks are sending us voice notes, and we beg of you, send just one. We won't play all three or all 10 that you
From the same
said.
person.
Please just send one, and we're going to play a couple shortly. But Amance, you were talking there, and again, my thoughts go to this whole notion of one Guyana and Ali's message and this thing that they're trying to bang and drum out: one people, one nation, one destiny, all of that. And I'm thinking, how could we get one Guyana? If some little laws, some little thing called laws, and because in a little book called the Constitution, we can't even agree on that. Here you had, for instance, the Damlal incident in the National Assembly. Uh, Organizations like the Help and Shelter says that is sexual harassment. You have the Guyana Human Rights Association also joined by saying that is sexual harassment. And then you had recently, I don't know if you had a chance to hear it, Manza, but I think it was HJPTV Nightly, we picked up a report out of that says that Vindhya Prasad, who is the Minister of Social Services, Human Services, I think, Human Social Services, made a comment on that. And you could hear Vindhya parsing the words, oh, it's not only Damlal alone said things, and I've been the victim, and all, but you never tell the speaker, you never raise it as an issue publicly. I've been a victim too, and he said an apology, and we can't even agree on that. Take a listen, man, and I'd really like to get your impression on what the minister said concerning this, as just within the context of we can't even agree what the law is. How are we going to get to one Guyana? Take a listen, listeners, viewers, and answer.
I believe people like the Human Rights Association, they need to look at it holistically. And while you might point out someone justifiably or not, and I'm not saying that the statement made was acceptable. In fact, the MP got up and apologized. And in Parliament, we can all have our say, but ultimately the Speaker of Parliament determines what must and should be done. That is in accordance with the standing orders.
Minister, if you
Yeah, so there you have that song by there. And, I'm not saying what he did was right, but you're not even saying it is wrong either. One Guyana.
It is best that she didn't speak.
It was
Just
best.
issued a statement. Because all she has done there is confirm
For the agitate.
that she really has no moral compass to make a pronouncement on this. Um, Sherrod, but it points to a very stark reality. And it points to something that you said earlier. There are times that we might have to say some things that our constituents might disagree with, but is the truth. And so I think it requires a particular kind of grit to stand and say to a colleague, hey, you're wrong. I stand with my colleague, female MP, on this. It was unbecoming. But to throw it back to the speaker, it is just so wishy-washy. It is best that she didn't give a statement because it was really of none effect. That's my initial reaction to that because I saw HGP headlines, but I didn't bother to listen. You get to a point where it's just you just don't want to burden yourself with hearing these people because it is nothing transformational, it's nothing visionary, it's nothing motivating. It's just another propaganda. The
Yeah.
PPP is continuing to demonstrate that they do not have the visionary leadership that is required to move this nation forward. They continue to be stuck in the past. They continue to be stuck in full propaganda mode instead of getting to a point where they understand, look, let's really and truly get our Guyanese on board. Let's really and truly demonstrate that we are serious about one Guyana. Let us actually do this,
Yep.
talk the talk,
Correct. Correct.
and walk the walk.
Yeah.
It's failure in leadership altogether, and we see it. We listened to it a little earlier there from Air Finale, and then here is Vindia now at a different level, demonstrating another lack of leadership and failure in leadership. And one of the things I actually want to quote is that there was a paper actually done by the University of Bath, and that paper was titled criticism and outstanding leadership. And they went on to say exactly what we're saying right now. Outstanding political leaders are frequently called upon to make high stake decisions. Like Amanda, you were just saying that, sometimes we have to say things that our constituency may not necessarily agree with, right? But it's because of the controversial and highly visible nature of these issues, they often face intense criticisms. Leaders' responses to criticisms not only affect follower reaction but also successful resolution of the contested issue. And this is what we're talking about. But they close by actually saying that after their research and their study, that the results indicated that collaborative leaders' response strategy proved most effective in terms of the leader's ability to continue forward. And they further said, conversely, avoidant, diverting attention, those responses and strategies prove less effective. When we talk about these things, it's nice to go to research and studies that were actually conducted to bring back home. I always like to say, let us bring the facts forward. This must never be just we coming to the people and saying, well, this is how it should be. But we must always have the data and the research to back up what we're saying. And we've been saying all of this, and now we have several papers. I'm just quoting from one that says exactly what we've been saying. The writing is on the wall. They do not handle criticism well because they lack leadership. Their leadership ability is completely poor. They believe they can go out and do what they want and not be held accountable. It's the whole nature of accountability and having to respond to a people is what's lacking altogether. And it's from at the very helm of the organization right down to the bottom. So they believe that they can do what they want, say what they want, and just have no repercussions whatsoever.
And on that note of doing what you want, different strokes for different folks, we saw this one Guyana, quote unquote, on full display last night, this morning, because the police went to James Bond's premises, where he conducts his business. I think it's in Melanie, Damshana area there, and sought to close down his establishment, saying that he was in breach of COVID regulations and the curfew. And while when we were coming to the studio this morning, we saw a lot of establishments still partying into the sunrise. James took issue with that, and Amanda, I want you to take a listen to our brother James. Again, the target of this police state that we are developing into, and I'd love to have your comments, perhaps even as an attorney at law, well established and well respected on this issue as well. Take a listen. Viewers, listeners, to our brother James Bond, attorney himself and businessman.
I want the entire world to see. I'm in a police vehicle. The police arrested me for breach of curfew. The police arrested James Bond. I'm in a police vehicle for breach of curfew. I want the world to see this. Let the world see. I'm in a police vehicle. Let the world see. Every part of the country. Nobody getting harassed for breach of curfew. But James Bond getting harassed by the police in C Division for breach of curfew. And then a police vehicle. National Park, Stadium, you name it. Gainan. I got them locked up.
Manzi, there is our colleague James Bond in a police vehicle, again being arrested for breaching curfew, and I believe somebody has given instructions to the police harass James Bond, and it brings to mind this address also by Aubrey Norton, the leader of the People's National Congress who reform, profound address. And in this address, this is what Mr. Norton said. He says, I wish to draw your attention to the vulgar, the verbal, vulgar, and despicable practice by this government of discriminating against private investors who might hold policy positions different from theirs. Different from theirs. We are aware that many making investments that can create jobs and help grow the economy without depending on oil and gas. This short-sightedness rather and growing practice of economic discrimination must be condemned and stopped. It affects our ability rather to build a better, stronger, and more prosperous Guyana for all Guyanese. And again, this was last evening. Mr. Norton put out this very strong statement on the occasion of our 52nd Republic anniversary. And this is James Bond. Again, he articulated other persons being allowed to have their own activities. There's the government seems to have lifted the curfew as far as I know, Amanda.
Well, Sherrod, look, Mr. Norton is absolutely correct. He is absolutely correct in what he has stated, and he has been able to show the connection between the deleterious effects on our economic development and the discriminatory attitude of the PPPC. I was shocked when I heard that James Bond was arrested for the breach of curfew, because my first reaction was, wasn't the curfew abolished? That was my understanding. So to hear that he was arrested for breaching the curfew, it took me by surprise that the government would be so ridiculous. But I hope it demonstrates to the people of Guyana just how much we have sunk into ridiculousness, as the people would say. Can you imagine you have a young man running a thriving business, a young Afro-Guyanese too, running a thriving business, And this is not the first time he has been harassed about the curfew. It's not the second time. It's not the third time. When there are people and other establishments who are friendly to the government who operate in clear and direct breach of the regulations without sanctions. And so what you have there on display again is, despite all of the verbiage from your finale, there are two Guyanas. And there will continue to be two Guyanas until the people of Guyana decide that no, we actually really do want one Guyana, and we will therefore hold our leaders accountable. But what has been happening in terms of the harassment of James is just completely unacceptable. And I know he said that he was hoping he was taking a backseat from politics, but I hope this indicates to him that we need to speak out
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
against this authoritarian regime.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just inexcusable. It is downright disgusting.
Very well, very well. Amanda, as we wrap up the program today, what are your thoughts to Guyanese at home and abroad? Our 52nd Republic anniversary. We 52. We big. We big. We big. We big. Some of we got a little sense. Some of we. What are your thoughts to Guyanese as we wrap up?
Sharon, yesterday I said that it was time for a renewal of the spirit of our republic. If we should think back to 1966, we just got independence
Mm-hmm.
after years of struggle. And then 4 years after, we said, no, we need to perfect our sovereignty. We want to be a republic. Progressive at the time, like I said yesterday, it was visionary.
Mm-hmm.
Here you are, you just get independence 4 years ago. Why not be content with that? But the Guyanese people at that time said, no, we want to control our destiny. I think it is time that that spirit be reborn in our nation, and that we as a people say, you know what? Yes, we are grateful for how far we have come. We thank God, but there is more, there is farther, there is better, and we must lay hold of that. And so I know we will be having parties and a lot of frolic, but in the midst of all of the revelry, let us not lose sight of what this Republic Day should mean to us as Guyanese and what it meant to our foreparents who fought to win us those victories of emancipation, of independence, of Republican status. We have to be worthy of their sacrifices, Sharon, and to do that, we have to be a people that understand when it's time to work and when it's time to play. We have to understand. We have to understand when it's time to put our shoulders to the wheel and when to relax. And so I want to encourage all of us. We must begin to speak up. We must begin to demand better, and we must begin to hold this government accountable in a manner that they understand that we are serious about building this nation, not for some Guyanese, but for all Guyanese. And so, my brother, to you and our listeners, happy Republic Day and God's richest blessings.
Fantastic, Amanza. Thanks for joining us for this program. We know you are home and getting your own R&R and preparing for tomorrow's program of FYN. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks
Yes,
again.
indeed. See you guys tomorrow. Blessings.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Let's take some of our WhatsApp calls that we had, WhatsApp messages we had come in, and we're gonna wrap up in a little bit.
Hello, Sharon. Good day to you and a good day to Manza and as well to Rita. Happy match to you all. And my point is to say the one Guyana that the PPP is talking about, it means no room for difference. No room for differences. There's no room for other ways of life but the PPP way. There will be no unity and mix of various cultures of the people. So therefore, the one Guyana that the Guyanese people have is not anything at all. Whereas the meaning of this is one Guyana for the PPP alone and no other way. Or there's
Mm-hmm.
no room for other way of life or no other culture. So the PPP alone stands alone as the cheese stands alone in the cartoon riddle. Anyways, the PPP is standing by itself, and it means that everybody else has to be as they would want to live. Whereas they want everybody to go the PPP way and not no other way. So the one Guyana that they're talking about only exists as one way of life, and that's the PPP way, and there will be no room for any differences in this land. So there will be no changes at all, and there will be no unity and no mixing of any other race or whatever. So the PPP will be only standing for one thing, whereas they're showing you clearly there that racism is the main factor of their regime. Anyway, Sharad, have a good day and enjoy the rest of your day. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm. 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 We heard that. We heard that. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very, very interesting views. Folks, don't send us a lot of voice notes. We can't play all of them today. Tell me.
A pleasant day to every Guyanese, a blessed day to all my Guyanese brothers and sisters across the 3,000 square mile on this, on our 52nd Republican anniversary. And a special good day to the panel, our brother Sherrod, sister Jurita, Amanza, and Ganesh. You guys are doing a very, very good job by exposing the incompetency of our government. It seems as though we have to get a dictionary for our president because he's embarrassing his own self when he's talking about attitude. I guess he doesn't understand what that word really means because he's the one with the attitude. And with all the negative, you can see what he's doing on the outside. He has it all wrapped up in him, the negativeness about this country and the people of this country, with the disrespect. You know, a national event, not inviting the opposition and other civil society group, clearly show that our president lacked understanding. I thank you very much.
Thank you as well, my brothers. Thank you as well. All valid points being made there.
Hi, Sarah. Good day. The girl Marilyn in here. I will be at ringside for the next 30 days. Maybe one Facebook black me because I said that dear friend I should choke. That he should choke. Blood thief and liar, hypocrite. So they blocked me for 30 days. So anyway, I've been looking at you from the ringside and I'll be commenting on ringside on YouTube. Oh, and by the way, Marilyn Ford is the same Marilyn Thomas. So it's me all the while. Hi, Sharon. Good day. Happy Republic anniversary to you and all the MPs.
Anyway, Sharad, have a good day and enjoy the rest of your day. That's all I have to say.
To everybody else. And could you please let the Ministry of Finance know that we had Republican status on the 23rd of February 1970, not 1966. That is so ridiculous.
Redonkulous indeed. Redonkulous, folks. It's just redonkulous. And Marilyn says it all there. Marilyn says it all. We couldn't add anything to what Marilyn has said. And those of you, if you're in Facebook jail, you can join us on YouTube. There's that option. Don't nobody hold you back. Nobody hold you back.
Hello, Mr. Sherrod Duncan. I don't understand why the president is saying one Guyana because there isn't no one Guyana with the way how the ministers they are behaving, especially when the dildo minister would have made that comment to that lady, which was very disrespectful. So there is no one Guyana. There is no one Guyana.
I think James Bond might share your views. I think so. Your views might just be shared by James.
Alligator Polly, Uncle Catfish Curry, we take you to Barbados to Myanmar. Alligator Polly, Uncle Catfish Curry, we take you to Barbados to Myanmar.
Ping, 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 ping.
Look, I cannot. I love these viewers.
If you see me, oh, she's sunny, she curry. She curry and she feels so happy. Put some ginger, we put some tomato. If you see me, oh, she licks your finger. Alligator Polly, Uncle Catfish Curry, we take it to Barbados, me and Motley.
Mhm.
See me how she sunny, she curry. Me a eat she curry and she lick she finger. Me a eat she curry and she lick she finger. Ali put some jeera, he put some tomato. Me I eat she curry and she feels so happy. Me I eat she curry and she lick she
Scrutiny
finger.
bulb.
Ali get up early and cook catfish curry. He take it to Barbados for me and
Poi, poi,
Motley.
poi, poi.
He take it to Barbados to me and Motley.
That's how we roll.
To Barbados for me and Motley.
Drum roll now, people. Drum roll. Poi, 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 poi. Poi, poi. Folks, we got no comeback after that. We got no comeback after that. What we here is another one of our listeners.
To me, y'all should stop using the phrase one Guyana. You one people, one nation, one destiny. Y'all should stop using the phrase but one Guyana and following the PPP and using the phrase. Y'all supposed to stop. You don't get one people, one nation, one destiny, and that's it. One guy in my hell.
Yeah, right. Very strong views. Very, very strong views. They're coming from the people themselves. Very, very strong views.
Corporate Republic Day to all Guyanese, Sherrod and the rest of the panel. Let me just say, the PVP was installed and that license is about to expire. The license where they get to operate as a government, right? By the international community and the people that put them into government. They got that license. But let me tell you, the price for the license is going to change. Every license in the world, if you understand what I'm saying, has a period to run. Maybe some you get a license for 6 months, you get a license for 7 months, you get a license for 8 months, you get a license for 2 years, you get a license for 3 years, 5 years. You get the drift, right? So they feel powerful that because they get that license, they could say whatever, and the rest of the international community is gonna watch on because they was installed by these people. So they just gonna think that the people is gonna just allow them to do whatever. But the license is about to expire because especially America, they just put you in power and they take you out of power. They do it to a lot of countries. That's my take.
Thank you so much, my brother. And that's going to be our last one. Happy 52nd Republic anniversary, Jarita. Happy 52nd Republic anniversary to our listeners, to you and all your family. That's it.
As we wrap up,
And the moon now full of curry.
as we wrap up, as persons celebrate our 52nd, after 52 years, we must recognize that whatever we have been doing has not been working out how we wanted it to work out because our country is still not united. It has not been working out because the majority of our people are barely surviving on a daily basis. And we must recognize that it is only through collective action that we will prosper as a people. Our destiny, and I want to keep reinforcing this, our destiny is in our hands, and we must therefore unite our voices and speak out. And speak out for those who cannot speak out for themselves, for it is only then that the dreams of our foreparents will be realized, and it is only then that we will truly be able to honor our motto of one people, one nation, and one destiny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Correct on all points. Folks, that's our program for today. Thanks for joining the podcast. Below the belt, who Vex Lose. We're going to be back tomorrow with our morning program, beginning the day. FYI. Trust that you guys have a great, great rest of the day. You take some time for yourselves, for your family, as we reflect on the nation after hard work. Relaxation, rest after hard work. That's what the day is all about. That's what the season is all about. Happy Mastermind to each and every one. I think my brother put it in the exact terms we should end the program as we one people, one nation, one destiny. That'll do it from our end. You guys, you can partner with us to keep our programs moving forward. If you guys want to do that, you can WhatsApp 627-6963. We can tell you how you can contribute to these programs in a tangible way to keep us moving forward. That'll do us from this end. That'll do it from this end, folks. On our behalf and all the guys working behind the scenes, happy 52nd Republic anniversary. Happy Mastermind to you and your family. Take care, guys, and do stay safe. Sharita, the final word goes to you.
Well, happy Mastermind, guys. As Sherrod mentioned earlier, he's not going to be ringside this evening.
Correct is
I
right.
just want to remind you guys
Correct
of
is
that.
right.
So you'll be seeing us back tomorrow at 8 a.m. at earliest. Sherrod is going to be out. He's giving you guys an opportunity to actually relax and enjoy.
Rest your body.
Enjoy the celebration in whatever way you're celebrating in home in your little family circle. Just continue to be safe. If you're going on the road, continue to be safe. We want you all to arrive where you're going safely. So again, we close by saying happy 52nd Republic anniversary, Guyana. Happy 52nd to all our listeners here below the belt.
Stay safe, guys. Stay safe.